Hey guys, welcome back. I've been missing in action for a while. I've been taking a few days off and resting, and it's good to be back. Happy New Year 2026. Did anybody get a word from the Lord for what he has planned for you, or what he's going to do with you, through you this year for 2026? I got a word. The word God gave me is create. We went to, so for Christmas, gosh, it's been a long time since I've been on, hasn't it? Because I don't think I've told y'all any of this. I've told you in a post, but Christmas Day, we went to see my mother-in-law. We normally see my husband's mom and his family on the day after Christmas because his mom's birthday is the 26th. This is the first time in 39, maybe 40 years that I have not seen my mother-in-law on her birthday. But that was because I saw her on Christmas. I didn't always see her on Christmas. We'd see my parents on Christmas, and then we would go visit my husband's parents the day after because we would do Christmas and his mom's birthday. But I'll tell y'all all about that while I'm painting, so come on in. I'm going to use a 12 by 12 inch canvas panel, and I'm going to paint a snowman. So let's see how this is going to, let me move this out of the way. And I need to grab some, oh, you know what I want? Maybe? Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to grab my handy dandy cardboard, y'all. You know I like my cardboard. Hey, Janet, come on in. I'm going to paint a snowman. Emily Seilhamer does like beginner tutorials for painting. And if you ever have a chance, look her up. And if you're interested in painting, then she has all kinds of really neat stuff to do. And so I thought, since everybody has snow everywhere, oh, thanks for sharing me out, Janet. Since everybody has snow everywhere, we don't have snow. I'm glad we don't have snow because I don't do cold weather well. But anyway, I figured that I know a lot of people are doing New Year's stuff, but I thought I'd do a snowman. I actually have something for the next project I do. I think is going to be a New Year's project. So, but anyway, one of the things that I have told y'all in the past, and you know, it's really kind of neat because about last 3 years, God has been bringing the right people across my path to teach me how to paint. And one of the very first things that I learned, and where did somebody repeated it, as talking about whenever you're working with paint, or color, really color in general. It's not just paint, but color in general. You want a light, a medium, and a dark in the color that you're going to be using. So like for me, I'm going to be using a light, a medium, and a dark blue for a background. All right, so this is what I have. I've got 3 colors here. And if you don't have 3 colors, that's okay, because you can always add white to it. Speaking of which, where is my white? I'm almost out of my white now. I need to get more white. It's hard to believe. This is cotton ball. All right, I'm gonna use cotton ball. Normally I use the Americana, what's it called? Titanium white. So anyway, so we're going to put a background on here, and then I think a snowman, and I was inspired by Emily Seilhamer, so I want to mention her name. So let's go on in here and see what we're going to get, y'all. Actually, I think I want to put a little bit of white on here in case I need to lighten any of this up. So I work with a variety of different paints. I am not a person who grew up with a paintbrush in my hand. I have painted ornaments, some Christmas ornaments over the years. One year I did. But I would not consider myself to be, you know, someone who got my teeth, what do you say, grew my teeth with a paintbrush. So this is kind of, painting is relatively new to me, and I'm going to teach you the things that God has taught me over time. And we're going to start with, I like to use a filbert brush. I'm learning through watching different people who paint. Everybody has a different favorite. If you listen to Emily Seilhamer, she likes a mop brush. This brush is real similar to a mop brush, but for whatever reason, I like the filbert brush because you still have a little bit of control over what happens with this. So here we go. So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go in, I think I'm going to grab some white with this too. I think I want to grab some white, some of this light blue, and I'm going to flip my brush over, and I'm going to add the dark blue, and I need to get quite a bit on here. All right, so let me show you what I have. So this is what I have. I've got the dark blue over here and the light blue over here, and I've thrown some white in there, but if you notice, the middle is still kind of empty. And what I'm going to do with the middle is I'm going to come straight down on here, and I'm going to grab that third color. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across, see if I can, I'm going to put that, that's not a good place for that. Hang on. Hang on. Let's see if I can get this out of the way, because I want y'all to be able to see. All right, that's better. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take, and I'm going to try not to mix this. I don't want to mix this. I want to just come across here, get a variety of colors going, and I want the variations of all three of these colors. And I have found that it does not matter if your colors blend together or don't blend together with your three colors. Okay, can you see that? You see how it gives it a little bit of dimension. We're having salmon for like an early dinner, late lunch, y'all, and we're gonna have green beans that are in the oven that have garlic salt and onion powder on them, and I'm telling you, y'all, it smells amazing. So my nephew, my younger son, and I are going to get together after I get off my live, and we're going to eat dinner, and then we're going to go and we are going to have we're going to go get an ice cream. So I'm excited about that. All right, so same thing I'm going to do again. I'm going to come in here with the white. I'm going to dab in with the light blue, and then I'm going to flip my brush over, and I'm going to come into the dark, and I'm going to go into that medium, and then just kind of offload a little bit, and we're going to go in here with the next color, y'all. And trying as hard as I can to not blend this. I want all three of these colors to show up. So I'm coming over here on the side, and I'm going to come over here on the side while I have this loaded on my brush. And let's see if I can show y'all. Can you see the different colors? I'm telling you, it makes it, once you start doing this, you will never go back and do it differently. All right, so I'm going to do the white, the light, the dark, and the medium. You can load your brush any way you want. That just tends to be how I typically do it. All right, so I'm going to go over this section here, and I'm going to get that dark in there again, making sure that, and you want to load your brush with a good amount of paint on it. so that you can get in all the nooks and crannies. And it looks like I need to get just a little bit more paint up here. So I created a recipe for salmon that is the absolute best salmon recipe that there is. And I actually, oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, well. I actually adapted a recipe that I had gotten from somewhere else. All right, let's see if I can, I'm going to just come over here. And what it is, all right, so we're going to come in here. I'm going to go with the white, and I want to get lots of that. And then I'm going to come over here with the light, flip my brush, do the dark, and come in with the medium. I'm putting a little bit more on my brush because it wasn't quite doing what I wanted it to do. And so one of these blues has more gray in it. And so that's giving it just a little bit different of a look. One of them has, you know, obviously we've got the one that has the more white in it. Okay. I have found, this is just my experience, you may have different experience than I have, but I have found that if I go back and try and fix what I did up above, I mess it up every single time, and I lose that, see the variations of the colors in that? If I go back and try and fix something up at the top, every single time I will lose that, and it never looks as good as if I just left it alone. So the lesson that I have learned is not to overwork it if I can get away with it. All right, so again, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab some white, a bunch of the light blue, flip my brush over, go with the dark, and then grab the medium color. And I should be able to get through this. Trying to go straight across. You can go any direction you want. I'm going to throw some of this white's going to get in here, so that's good. And then I'm going to do this bottom edge. Now, I like to paint on canvas panels because you can always, I'm just going around the edges, y'all. You can always frame these. You can get like just empty frames with no glass or anything. See that? Okay, so that's the color that we want. And I'm liking that. I actually think, all right, so I'd like the bottom. I'm going to turn this upside down. I don't normally do that, but I'm going to turn this upside down because I think I like that. All right, let me look and see. All right, there's some spots here that need a little bit more paint in them. Down here at the bottom. I'm telling you, when you work with these three colors, you just want to be careful not to overwork it where you lose all that pretty gradient look that you created. All right, I'm just double checking. Everything looks good. Come up here. Add a little bit in here. And I'm going to leave it alone for this. The key is to get enough of the paint on your brush that you can do this with one pass. Hey Cindy, how are you? Good to see you. Happy New Year. So I started to tell y'all that Christmas Day we went to my mother-in-law's assisted living house. All right, let me get this dry and then I'll tell y'all. I think this is going to go pretty quickly. But her birthday's on the 26th, but this year we saw her on Christmas Day, which we usually go to my husband's family the day after Christmas. And the Holy Spirit had me collect a lot of items that I do from my lives that are, you know, just kind of stacking up. And what I did was I brought enough items for all the residents and all the staff to be given a present on Christmas Day. And I'm going to tell y'all, it was one of my best Christmases ever, I think, because, I don't know, there was just something about giving everybody a gift, and the atmosphere, the whole atmosphere in the place changed when we started giving out gifts. It was, you know, and so the word that God has given me for the year 2026 is the word create. And he gave that to me about a couple of weeks ago. And when I got the word create, you know, I was thinking in terms of, you know, more art pieces, creating art pieces. Y'all, this is really cool looking. But as we were at the assisted living place and we were handing out gifts and everything, you know how the Holy Spirit will just kind of highlight, yes, go ahead. You have, the Holy Spirit will just kind of highlight situations, or there'll be like a spotlight on something for you to notice. Well, okay, so this is what we have, y'all. Okay, see the different colors in that? I love that. You know what? Oh, I almost feel like I want to put some gold in there. Let me see. Maybe I want to. All right, I'm going to bring the snowman down to the side here. I think I'm going to leave that up at the top. So I'm going to put my brush in my water because I don't need that anymore. But anyway, what the Holy Spirit highlighted for me on Christmas Day at the assisted living place as we were giving out gifts was how the change in the atmosphere in the place completely changed. The residents had just finished eating their lunch, and we had talked to the person who was in charge, and all right, so I'm going to put some kind of snowflakes on here with these daubers. And so let me get some paint on here. Well, when we first started, come on in, y'all. Come on in. I'm not necessarily seeing all the comments. If you are there, just say hi and let me know that you're there on the other end. All right, so here we go. I'm going to come in here with some white. I'm going to need lots of white. I'll probably go through this whole thing. All right, so I'm going to take, and you need to see what I'm doing. I'm going to come in here, and these are going to be our snowflakes. And I'm just going to kind of get this loaded. So they had pretty much, all right, so I'm going to just kind of bring this down and twist. And I'm going to start with the big dauber, and then we are going to go down in size. Oh, that's fun. You like that? My nephew's watching. Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to do, let's see, I want to do some off to the side maybe a little bit. Kind of because it's still snowing off to the side. Let me turn this. And maybe one right down here. I think we'll do that one right there. Okay, so this is what we have so far. These are going to be some snowflakes. I'm going to just put this off to the side for right now. Now we're going to come in with a medium one, and I'm going to finish telling y'all my Christmas story. All right, just kind of loading this up. I'm going to need more paint. I kind of want to mix some pearl in here with this, y'all, but I'm not quite sure. This has got a little bit of it. Let me put some down here and see. So after they had lunch, we started handing out the finished pieces that I brought with us. And I was in a wheelchair because I can't do all that walking, y'all. And so I was kind of, I was in a position to observe and participate at the same time. And all right, so here we go. We're going to come in here with some smaller guys. Our older son was in town from the West Coast. All right, so let's see. I'm going to put one over here, one down here. And I'm going to do all of the regular white first, and then I'm going to come back. Well, as I was sitting in the wheelchair, what the Holy Spirit highlighted to me was how everything was shifting in the assisted living place. All right, here we go, y'all. We're going to do maybe one. I'm going to do the snowman over here. So let's do one of these here, and we'll do one on the corner. Okay. All right, so we've got that. So this is what we have. I'm going to put that one off to the side. And now I'm going to come in here with the little guy, and I am going to add just a hint, just a tiny, tiny hint of purple on this. I'm going to go in with, all right, let's put that up there. The whole atmosphere started changing, y'all. It was, I cannot, joy. There was joy. There was the hustle and bustle, because the residents went from just another day to, we were seeking them out at first, trying to find different residents to, okay, this has got a little bit of purple in it. So we're going to come in here, and now we are going to add some smaller ones, and I'm going to hit that with some more white. Looks like I'm going to go through this whole bottle of white, y'all. I got to save enough for my snowman. We went from, you know, trying to find them to us finding, to them finding us. All right, so here we go. I'm going to dab just a little bit. Just kind of filling this in, adding a tiny bit of color to it, to the background. And I want to get a few over here, so let me grab just a little bit more of this purple. It doesn't take much of this purple. This is purple iris, but this is in somebody's kit, so I don't know what the real color is according to Americana. All right, and then we're going to just kind of overlap some of these. And there's our snow. Okay, I'm going to leave that. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to dry this. So what God was showing me was that He doesn't want me to just create art pieces in 2026. He wants to put me in a position to create changes in atmospheres, to create memories for people who feel like they may feel forgotten. So it's going to be really interesting to see how God moves. Thanks, Cindy. It was just really, I'm telling you, God just really moved, and to see the whole atmosphere. And when I was telling our shepherd about it, our pastor, he said what you saw was a shift in the presence. That the presence of God even though he is everywhere, but what we saw God moving in people's lives, and they were feeling the presence of God. It was just like, y'all, it was like the best Christmas I think I have ever had. And I didn't even want any presents this year. And I love getting gifts. I love giving gifts, and I love giving them away, and I love getting them. But this particular year, I was like, I don't need anything. You know, I can always buy more arts and crafts stuff, because I'm always, you know, there's always another thing that I want to try. But anyway, so yeah. So that was my Christmas day, and we didn't even, normally, we're not an early morning family. Our older son has become an early morning person because he works in the film industry, and he has 5 o'clock times that he has to be to work. I'm trying to get these polka dots dry, because they need to be dry before I can move forward. But anyway, so we're all 4 of us are in different places right now. I'm at home. My husband is at the house that he grew up in, because he's overseeing his mom's care. He goes to see her every day, and so he's living in her house. Our older son is on the West Coast, and then our younger son, he's on my husband's in the middle, I'm on this side, my husband's in the middle, and then our younger son is on the other side of my mother-in-law. And so we all kind of came together at my mother-in-law's house, and I can't sleep in her bed, so I was just up and back, and then my husband was up and back. It was kind of crazy for us. It was definitely a different Christmas for us. And all right, that's feeling good. That's feeling good. All right, these are looking good. This one's looking a little, I like the pop of purple in here, y'all. But anyway, so we all kind of came into not really the middle, but kind of the middle. And we met at my mother-in-law's assisted living facility. So we didn't even have Christmas until after, we went to the assisted living facility, and then we went to visit an uncle of my husband's, because this is his hometown. And of course, we spent time with my mother-in-law and the residents, and that was probably a good 2 or 3.5 hours maybe. So by this time, it was about 3 or 4 o'clock now. All right, this is looking good. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock, and all right, this is what we have. See, can y'all see the purple in there? It's really cool looking. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. I think I'm done with these, so I'm going to put these in water. We'll see how they handle that. I'm going to put those in water so I can clean them. And we're going to come back, and now what we're going to do is we are going to put some more white down here. So after we left the assisted living home, all right, I think I want to do another, I'm going to use my filbert brush, y'all, because that's my favorite. I think I'm going to try, this is one size down from the one I was using, but, all right, this is what I like to do. I'm going to, because I don't know, this just works for me, is I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to kind of take my brush, my clean brush, and I am going to just dry brush this to get an idea of getting some muscle memory going. And then I'm going to come over here with my brush. I'm going to load up on the white. Okay? I need a lot of white. And I'm going to kind of offload down here. And then I'm going to come, and with that muscle memory that I just used, now I'm going to do it backwards. This is going to be our snowman, and he is going to be looking up. And we're going to probably get a couple of coats on this. All right, so here we go. You want to make sure you have a nice amount of paint on your brush so that you don't get any streaks or anything or holes in the brush. And I'm going to paint the edges. So after we left the assisted living place where my mother-in-law is, all right, I'm not happy with that yet, so I'll probably still play with that. Doesn't have quite enough paint on it. And of course you want your paint. Now for those of you who paint, you don't need me to tell you this, but I'm relatively new, so I like to learn I like to teach what I'm learning as I learn it, so that if anybody else wants to venture out and try something new, that they can do that. All right, so you gotta have enough paint on your brush to get a nice, good, solid line. And if you can do this all in one swoop, that's even better. All right, I'm gonna take So we went to my husband's uncle's house, and they hadn't had their Christmas yet either. So we showed up when everybody was, all his cousins were there. And, all right, I'm going to come back with black there, so I think we'll be okay. And we hadn't even had our Christmas yet. So they were, I mean, all the cousins were coming in, so it was kind of like a reunion for my husband. Yeah, this is one of his. I'm gonna come over that with black because we're gonna give him a hat. And so we visited them for, oh gosh, maybe about an hour we were there. And we hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't eaten anything by that point. And I was like, man, I'm getting hungry. And they had food and everything, but we had, what did we have? Oh, we had spare ribs that a friend had smoked for us. Y'all, this is so easy to do. I have not practiced this one. You know, sometimes I practice. Most of the times I don't, but sometimes I do. I have not practiced this one because this one, hey Sarah, Happy New Year. Anyway, so we left there. This is like, now it's like 5 o'clock maybe, and we haven't eaten anything. So we went back to my mother-in-law's house, and we had what is it, like fried potatoes, not French fries, but they were leftover potatoes from a roast that my older son heated up in a skillet. All right, I've got to get more paint, another layer on here because this isn't quite thick enough. And green beans. So that was really good. So now we're looking at it's probably 6:30, something like that. And we finally had our Christmas, and you know that was really nice. They and I told my two sons, I said, don't get me anything. I don't need anything. I have no room in my house, in our house, to put anything away in. So, but our older son ended up giving my husband and I, aka Mom and Dad, gift certificates to local restaurants. So that was perfect. All right, I'm just going over this with a second coat because it's really kind of, the blue is really kind of peeking through. And then my husband didn't know what to get me, so what he did was he gave me some money to go buy some clothes or whatever I wanted, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's like I said, I don't need anything. Our house is busting at the seam. I do need clothes. I will have to say I do need clothes. I think everything I own, y'all, has paint on it. I'm sure this sweater here has paint on it too. I don't think I own a sweater that doesn't have paint on it. All right, let's go ahead and dry this, and I'm going to give it one more coat. So, and then, you know, we don't get to see our older son very often with him living on the West Coast. Usually once a year. This year we got blessed and we saw him twice a year. But we play spades. The four of us love to play cards. I homeschooled our boys, and they grew up playing board games and... All right, here we go. I'm going to get a little bit more paint on here. One more coat. And then I think I want to put a coat of... Oh, I know what I can do. I got an idea. I got some of the stuff that... all right, here we go. All right, I think I want to put... Do I want to put a dab of this in here? Let's see. I'll do just a dab of this pearl in here, just to give this a little bit of sparkle. And I almost feel like, all right, let's see. Let me get a little bit more of this on here. I almost feel like I want to throw a little bit of blue in here from the sky. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet or not. All right, here we go. Remember that when you use anything with like a shimmer or a gloss, not a gloss, but what do I want? Like a metallic, that you want to put a base coat of a flat down first. Okay, that's looking good. But I have this stuff here, y'all. I think I want to throw... This is a dragonfly glaze. It's got some purple in it. I think I want to try putting some of this on top of a snowman to give him a little bit of shimmer. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Oh, yeah. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this, but this is going to give just a hint. All right, and then after I get the snowman base down, we're going to give him a hat. This is going to be pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, it's got just like a little bit of a glitter look to it. All right, so I'm done with that. I'm going to put this in my water. And so we just spent time getting together, visiting. That was what we had talked about last year, was that instead of doing a lot of gifts like we normally do, that we were just going to spend time together. And so that's what our holiday season was spending time together, doing stuff together. All right, this has got a little bit of an iridescent look to it, kind of neat. All right, we're going to give him a hat. Next thing we're going to do is give him a hat. All right, so here we go. We're going to get some black in here. Make sure y'all can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. I'm just putting some lamp black on here. And then again, I'm going to go in, but this time I'm going to go in with this brush here. Just another filbert brush. You know I like my filbert brushes. And we are going to take and get us a nice good solid line here for his hat. see how wide I want his brim. See if I can manage to not get this. And it's going to be okay if we go over these snowflakes, y'all. Alright, see how it's starting to, I can see underneath where the paint was, so I'm going to pick up, load my brush, come back, and then I want to do a third layer. I'll come this way. And then we're going to come in here. Alright, paint's starting to get thin, so I'm going to just lift it up, come back, load my brush again, and you can see the difference. I should have shown y'all. Alright, hang on. Alright, if you look down here in the corner, you're gonna see how, I don't know if you can see, like right at this part right up here where the top of his hat is. Can you see how it's kind of, you can see the canvas underneath? We don't want that. So I'm gonna grab some more paint and I'm gonna load my brush on here. Load my brush up. Oh, and then I got my nephew got a new Apple Watch, and he said he wanted to give me his old one. So I was like, okay. So I put Mickey Mouse on the front. The last watch I had, oh boy, I just messed that up. The last watch that I had was a Mickey Mouse watch, and I normally cannot wear a watch because the electricity in my body wears the battery down. So we're testing to see if I'm going to be able to wear an Apple Watch. Okay, this is good. I think I want the brim slightly bigger. Alright, coming in here. I do better going down than I do going up. So just grabbing that edge. Grabbing a little bit more paint where it left off. Okay. And then we're going to take and we want to finish, wrap this around so that it looks like it continues. And we're going to get this side over here. Okay, so we've got each side. See how this wraps around? And then we've got this one over here. It comes over here, and then it wraps around. Okay. And let me come right on in here. I want to get up next to this edge, so that we've got the same amount of paint. And then I'm just going to smooth this out. So he's looking up into the sky, looking at the snowflakes. I got this one edge that I need to, there we go. Alright, so there's his hat. That's his hat. Let me dry that. I don't think I need any more black, so I'm going to put this in my water. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do his nose. Can you see him? His eyes are going to go here. His nose is going to come up there like he's looking up. So one of the things that I want to do for 2026 is paint more. I've got a watercolor book that I bought, so I want to play with some watercolors. I want to do more decoupaging. I'm going to clear out my stash this year, y'all. Instead of buying new surfaces, I want to use a lot that I have and use it up. And I think I'm going to be, this year, I was thinking that what I would do is, because I just want to bless people, is if anybody wants anything that I do, they can pay for shipping, and I will give whatever I make away for free. So, if somebody wants anything that I'm doing, all you have to do is pay for shipping, and it's yours. All right, so this is what we have. And I'm not worried about anything going or not going, because you know, I feel like I'm going to be giving a lot of things away to residents and assisted living homes this year. All right, so here we go, y'all. We're going to come in here and we're going to put his nose on here. I need oh boy, I think a round brush. I don't normally work with round brushes. At least I should say I don't have a lot of experience with round brushes, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to come in here. And again, I like to get that muscle memory going. So we're going to start about down here. And we are going to get some orange. No, we got to get white first. Okay, we're going to go white so that, all right, and I'm going to make this so that it kind of comes out of the corner, that his nose is going to be kind of with the corner right here. So here we go. And that's the plan. Oops, a little bit of a crook. I guess there's crooked carrots, so he's going to have a crooked nose. What this is going to do is by painting this white, this is going to make it so that that orange will pop on this. Otherwise, it would just kind of be kind of dull. And I'm playing right now. I'm kind of experimenting to see if I really like this, working with this brush here. So far I'm not, because I don't feel like I have the same control. So I might switch to a different brush when I go to the orange. All right, and here we go. So I'm just going over this. All right, hang on, because I'm not sure I like this. Hang on. I tend to like brushes that I have a little bit more control with, and I don't feel like I have the same amount of control with these round brushes. But I do need something that comes to a tip too, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Now, one thing about doing the white on this is it does give me a guide of what to do when I come back with the orange, y'all. Right, I don't like this edge over here, so I'm going to come in here. That's better. Maybe I just needed more paint on it. All right, we're going to dry that, and then we're going to give him some orange. Might need to be a little bit lighter, maybe, maybe not. No, I'm gonna leave it as it is. Put that down there because I'm going to need that for the eyes. Alright, so we're going to come in here and let's try this brush here. Let's see what this one's going to do. Alright, we're going to come in here with orange and we're going to paint his nose. Right, that's good and dry. Oh, this is definitely stiff. That one's way too stiff. I didn't get that one clean. All right, hold on. I'm still trying to find the right brush, y'all. How about this one? This one looks pretty decent. Let's see what this is going to do. I definitely need more practice with this. Okay, this is not bad. Need more practice with this kind of brush. Taking it all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to turn it around because I tend to do better from the top. Here we go. All right, and then we're going to come down here. And we're going to do like just a round curve. And let me get the curve on the other side here. I'm going to come up here and I'm pressing the brush down just a little bit so that the bristles, I have more control with the bristles. All right, and then I come back up here. We're going to dry that and then we're going to put another layer on here. Y'all see where his face is coming in? Probably could have moved it over just a little bit, but here we are. So we're going to go with what we have. All right, let's get another layer on here. Kind of filling this in. It's got a nice feeling a little more control with this after I work with this brush a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and get the bottom. And going across the top here to get that white undercoat. Now I have had a couple of people tell me that that gray is a good color to do an undercoat also, but I never tend to think in terms of gray, but I need to start. Okay, so this is what we have so far. He's looking up at the sky. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here with a little bit of brown. And I need a detail brush. So I'll try this one. Maybe this one. I might as well go ahead and use the rest of this paint up and get. Alright, got that. Alright, gonna put that in the water. We're gonna dry it and we're gonna do a little bit of an undercoat. All right, so I'm going to take, where'd my brown go? Here's some brown. A little bit of brown. And we're going to come in here. And we're going to just, let me offload this some. And we're going to come in here. This would be like the underside of his nose. So it's going to be a little bit darker down here. And we're going to start doing some, you know how the carrots have the little ridges in them? Probably could have used a, I'm going to get a little bit of water on this brush. Kind of putting some curves on here.
What?
Okay, so he's just got a little bit of, let's see which way it goes. This way. Oh, I didn't. This way. Goes this way. All right, so he's got a little bit of the carrot stuff going on there. All right, so now we're going to give him some eyes. So let me come back over here to my black. I don't think I need that brush anymore. Ooh, I don't need that many eyes. All right, again, I need a, what am I going to use? I think I need to get some better fine detail brushes, y'all. Let's see here. Let's see what this one does. All right, so we are going to do eye there. This has got some stragglers. And an eye there. And we are going to give him fill that in. This isn't. I got to get some better fine detail brushes, y'all, for sure. Not the best eyes, but here we go. All right, that was better. Remember that the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So I am your example of practicing outside your comfort zone. not thrilled with this paintbrush, but all right, his eyes, one eye is bigger than the other, so let's see if I can make this a little bit wider. I like this eye better. I don't know how to fix this guy over here. It's kind of... needs to be more rounded. All right, let me bring this guy up a little bit more. I think if I had a smaller filbert brush that I would do better. I don't know why I do better with a filbert brush, but I seem to. Okay, that looks better. All right, let me just come in here. I'm concentrating now. All right, these are his eyes. Okay, he's looking up. We're not done yet. Now what I need to do is I'm going to come in here with a pop of white. And we're going to go along the edges with the white. It's still wet, so it's a little bit gray. There we go. I gotta figure out how to use this brush, y'all. Not thrilled with. Thanks, Adam. All right, and then I think what I want to do is I'm going to go in here and just maybe, I don't know if that's right or not. I'm not thrilled with that. All right, let me go back to the black. Not thrilled with that there. I don't like this brush at all. All right, hang on. Let's try this guy here. I go through all my brushes till I find one I like. This one, let's try this one in the black and see what we get. I can't seem, these brushes have like little straggler. Alright, that's better. Bristles, and it's like making it so that I'm not getting a nice, smooth, clean edge. There we go. Oh, that's better. Alright, that's my new watch. I can just put my hand over it and it'll stop. Okay. Alright, so that, now we're going to do his smile. So we're going to do this. And this. Give him a little. Just kind kind of widening his smile here. All right, I think I found a brush that I like. This one seems to be pretty decent. All right, so this is what we have. Check him out. And then we're gonna give him a snowflake. I don't think I need any more black. So, trying to decide. Oh yeah, that one's not gonna fit good. Let's try this guy. Oh, I don't know. Hang on. I got some totally dazzled snowflakes in here. And I think I'm gonna put one on his hat. Ooh, I like that one. All right, let's see which ones I like. These are kind of smaller than I wanted. Let's see which one we like here, y'all. These are kind of smaller than I wanted. That one's too small. All right, hang on. Let me see what I like. I think I like that one. I like that one. What do y'all think? Rather than paint one on there, I think what I'm going to do is glue one on there. And I think I like this one. So let me get, it's not laying flat though, so that's not going to work. All right, let's try this. Let's do this guy. Is that too big? Don't think that's too big? Or should we paint one on there? Should we glue or paint? Glue or paint a snowflake? I can do either one. Glue or paint? What do y'all think? Oh, I like that one. That was kind of pretty. Small though. All right, I'm gonna go for the paint. I'm gonna paint one. See if I can get my brush that I liked. This one. I think this is it. All right, let's paint one on there. Let's just go with the paint theme and clean this. All right. Going for the paint. All right, I like this brush. Let's extend this out just a little bit. I didn't want to go that way, I wanted to go this way. Oh, this brush is splitting on me. Just kind of whatever I think it needs. There's no two snowflakes are alike, right? I think I want to extend this out here and extend this one. All right, there we go, y'all. grab just a little more paint in here. And we've got us a snowman with a snowflake on his hat. Put that in the water. Look at that. How about, what do y'all think? How about that? Easy project. Okay, so he can go this way. No, this is the way he's supposed to go, this way. And we are done. All right, so easy peasy snowman inspired by Emily Seilhamer. I want to make sure I say her name right. She does a lot of beginner tutorials and everything. And I figure with all the snow out there, hey Mary, I figure with all the snow out there that we needed a snowman today. So I am off. I'm gonna go with my son and my nephew, and we're gonna head out today and spend some more time together. Happy New Year. This is the first time I've been on in a while. I am back, so I will see y'all, I'm hoping tomorrow, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but we will see. All right, I love y'all. Thank you for all your support and all that you do to keep my page going. I appreciate y'all. I love you, and Jesus loves you more. Happy New Year, y'all. It's 2026. All right, bye-bye.